Danster, what's happening? Welcome. What's up, country? Welcome, welcome. You're number 2. Ma, what's happening? First comment, first like. Wow. Danster the sniper. Good news, I have tomorrow off, so I can stay on later if I so choose to. Dan's going to like that. Hell yeah, says the Danster. Yeah, I figured that would take a lot of work to get him to agree to that. I've got some cool stuff for show and tell later on. We'll probably do that after the top of the next hour. But yeah, picked up some stuff. Show it off to you. Country, have you been here? Hey, Lone Wrench, what's happening? Country, you haven't been in the Wolverine office yet. I moved to my office and I hung up most of my Michigan license plates. Oh, and I found the rest of my grease caps, which go on the end of the axle on an early teens Dodge Brothers car. That's what all of those are right there, the axle caps, the hub cap. So, yeah. Better check my schedule. All right, effed up yesterday and don't know. I worked until they called to see where I was. Got there in half an hour. Oops. Yeah, boss man got a hold of me. He's like, it's going to be super slow tomorrow. You want to take the day off? And I'm like, yeah, I will. Thanks, country. All safe. I'm off. Right on. Yeah, country, it is now above my head is 1910. So it's 1910 to 1913, which is the green on the white. So 11, 12, 13. The red and white, or white on red, I should say, or red over white is 1914. These are all porcelain on steel. And then these are stamped, but they have a pewter medallion on each one. And then that's 1915, and then all the way down 1916, that's a 1917 manufacturer. 1918, 1919 is below me, and then it goes up to 1920, and then all the way over to 1927. And those are just the ones that I've got on display. I've got way more. Peckerwood, what's happening? Welcome to my measly little live stream. So all of our snow melted off. My house is 1910. And one time I was Googling the original owner's name and found a classified ad from the 20s of him selling a Willys. How cool. That's really cool. How much are those antique plates worth? Country, I paid dearly for them. Yeah. When I was buying the porcelains, I was giving at least $100 per plate. The 1910, which is there. Oh, and those up top, those brown plates, those are Arizona 1932 copper plates made from sheet copper. The 1910 plate is the hardest to find, and I gave $200 alone for that. Back in the day, I had a job that worked me 84 hours a week, and I had all sorts of money and no time to spend it. And I just bought things that made me happy. License plates. And I bought a boatload of Coleman lanterns at that time, too. I also bought a Honda CBX, if you even know what one of those is. So, yeah, and that's back when I worked my last job over probably close to 10 years ago. So I'm sure everything's appreciated since then. Our snow is gone. Yeah, we got a CVX is a 6-cylinder, inline 6. Yes. You all know how I stay with my grandma. Well, 3 weeks ago, she was complaining about a headache. It never went away. Damage. She said she was fine, and now Saturday, she was found in her bed unconscious with, ooh. She suffered a bad stroke, brain bleed, aneurysm. Wow. Wow. Is she okay, Braden? Lay off the burgers. Don't you mean lay? But that's okay. Book 'em, Dano. Boom! Thank you, Colleen. Yesterday, she passed at 6:03. All right, everyone. A moment of silence for Braden's grandma. I'm sorry for your loss, Braden. I didn't know Grandma, but I'm sure she was a wonderful person. And it sucks really bad when a pillar in your foundation crumbles. So sorry for your loss. Gen X Empty Nesters. What's happening, Tracy? Yep, sorry for your loss, Braden. Since nobody can take care of him 24/7 at home. Well, that sucks. Yeah. I only have one grandparent left, and that's my grandma on Mom Dougster's side of the family, and she's 97, I think she is. Bless her heart. Over the week, I went and visited. Oh, you caught Dan's cold. Well, close proximity, it's going to happen. Over the week, I went over to my friend Crazy Charlie's. My little nephew is in the hospital in Milwaukee. I hope my little nephew will be okay, because I care about my little nephew. Well, that's right. I hope the little guy pulls through. Prayers for the little guy. So I went to see my friend Dusty and my friend Crazy Charlie, and for the temporary, they're living together until Dusty's going to close on his house real soon. So I'm talking to Crazy Charlie, and I was saying, he was showing me some stuff, and I noticed in the background of one of the pictures that the guy had gas pumps. And I said, boy, I want a gas pump. And I do. I want a gas pump for between the garage doors of the Wolverine garage. And so he goes, old man Chuck, who is not Crazy Charlie, but it's a friend of the family and of Crazy Charlie. He's like, old man Chuck had a couple of gas pumps, a pair of them. And he goes, he wanted X for him. And I'm like, X is affordable. So I like left straight out of Crazy Charlie and Dusty's place and went straight to Old Man Chuck's. Now, Old Man Chuck, he is an old hot rodder. He's 91 years young, and I don't know what brand they were. Because I get over to Old Man Chuck's, and he's an old street rodder, and he's been doing street rods as far back as I can remember. He bought a 39 Chevy Master Deluxe, and or is it a Ford? I think it's a Ford. Yeah, it's a 39 or a 40 Ford, and it's got a small block Chevy. It's a street rod. He's working on it. He's putting hey, it's Frank. What's happening? Welcome, Neverboard. So he's working on his new project street rod. He's got his other street rod. And like I said, he's 91 years young, and he's driven street rods as far back. He grew up in my neighborhood. Or I grew up around him in my neighborhood, and he's always had a sweet car. And my parents and his wife, or my parents and him and his wife, were always good friends. Anyways, so I went to go see Old Man Chuck about those gas pumps. He already sold them, of course, but they were already stripped down, but they were two like 6-footers, big square 6-footers. And they tapered. They were wide at the bottom and they tapered. They weren't like Wayne 70s or anything like that, but they were big and square. I'm working on a new project too, and it's giving you the big leg drop, brother. Brother! Bring it! So, yeah. Well, if anything, I thought it'd be cool to get my hands on those pumps because it's Old Man Chuck. And I mean, I've always looked up to him. He's always been like one of the hot rodding guys I've always looked up to have those pumps out front of my shop, a pair of pumps, that would have been awesome. So yeah, day late, a dollar short, but never hurts to try. The ones with the lightest glass glows, you see the fuel pass through. These ones I actually remember. Yeah, pumps with provenance, exactly. Now these ones are of the era where, like Dan's talking about, it had the sight glass and the little wheel that turned. The ones where that they're big and tall with the cylinder on top, like from the 1920s, those are called visible pumps because you can see that you paid for 10 gallons of gas. And I would love to have one of those, but I'm afraid I wouldn't keep it outside because, they're 100 years old. Yeah, the gold gas pumps with the globes are cool. And I mean, you'll pay for original globes, guys. You'll pay upwards to $350, $400 just for globes. Not to mention like it's band or no, that'd be $400. It'd be like complete. Yep. I was lucky enough to have 3 grandpas. My grandpa on mom's side of the family passed and when I was just literally an infant. And then in the 80s, my grandmother remarried to a wonderful man, and I got to know him as my grandpa. And then my grandpa on my dad's side of the family, he passed when I was a freshman in high school. Holy crap! 7 grandpas? Wow! We're all guilty of that from time to time, Danster, but we can't F up all the time. So yeah, if I do get my hands on a gas pump, I'm probably going to do it up in shell colors, the yellow and the red, like Shell Super, because Shell Super had yellow and red instead of just yellow. So, yeah, I'll probably do restore a pump and have it out front. And then I'd love to get a shell sign, but those are kind of, and it's the actual one that looks like a real shell in yellow, and it says shell in red lettering, but those are pricey. Yeah, Sunoco was yellow and blue. That would be my second choice, would be Sunoco yellow and blue, which would really work out well for the Wolverine maize and blue. Ha ha ha. See my little Wolverine? Ain't he cool? So yeah, I could do Sunoco would be my second choice because of the yellow and blue. Or maize and blue if you're a Wolverines fan like me. But yeah, I'd like to have a restored pump. Yeah, hunting's good. Used to do a lot of rabbit hunting. Um, the classics: Texaco, Phillips 66, Sinclair, Swifty, and Bonded. Okay, now I recognize Texaco, Phillips, and Sinclair, but Swifty and Bonded, I've never heard of. Now there's a local brand up in Muskegon, Michigan, close to which is closer to Neverboard S10's area, and the brand of gas was called Muskego, MUS dash KE dash GO, Muskego, and it had a Native American as their mascot, a Native American in a full headdress, and those are hard to find, but that'd be cool to have something local. Swifty and Bonded might just be Ohio because Bonded became Chevron. Okay. Well, I know there's Ohio, which is standard of Ohio. Sohio, Sohoio. But that's standard. That's cool. I've never seen Bonded or Swifty, and I pay attention to the gas pumps. There was a guy he rebuilt alternators and starters and the like. His name, well, it doesn't matter. But he was a friend of my father's, and then later I became friends with him too as I got older. And his father, and this guy was probably 80 when he passed, and wow, no fuel line freeze up or Sohio pays your tow. Wow. Now that is something worth talking about. Um, but the guy who that Dad and I were friends with, he passed on. Him and his father collected gas pump stuff, and this guy had built himself a new shop that was also uh I've seen I've seen a lot of boron in fuel back in the day. Um, well, his shop, one side was shop, and then the other side was a garage slash display where they had all gas pump globes. And it was a lot of the gas pump globe stuff was all West Coast stuff. All the stuff you couldn't find here in the East. I'd be happy with a 60s, 70s pump, but I really want something. I want a big, tall pump. I mean, I'd be happy with anything. What on earth are you doing, cat? Hey, get out of there. Cat in a box. And so on the whole south wall of this guy's shop, it was all shelves and they were complete, double-sided, so they had 2 lenses on each one, plus the hoop band in the middle, and uh and light bulbs. So he'd walk in, he'd turn off all the lights in the garage and turn on all the pump globes. And guys, it was so unbelievably cool. And then his dad had restored a standard pump and a visible standard pump, and that was in the shop. And then they were always big into gas and oil stuff. And then the guy wasn't getting any younger, so he decided that he was going to sell most of his gas pump stuff, except him and his dad's favorite. And these guys out of came and bought it all, and that was for sale, of course. And they said, "Well, name your price." And he thought to himself that he had his number in his head, but people are going to deal with you and stuff. So he had his number. He added 20%. And then he said, "I want this." And those guys looked at everything and they said, "Okay." And they wrote the check and handed it to him, because they were in the business of, that's what the guy wants. Pay the man what he wants. And he's like, "Wow, okay." But there's a company called Stryker Medical down in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And he thinks that it was the Stryker brothers that come bought his stuff, because they didn't even bat an eyelash. They're like, "Okay, here's your money." But it was all real deal stuff, and he had like Gilmore and Fire Chief, and he had the standard Crown Globes, and he had it for regular, he had it for premium, which had gold on it. Like regular standard was a milk glass globe crown with red, and then there was gold on it if it was premium. No LED either. Rolling mechanical numbers. Yes, that's called a computer, believe it or not. A mechanical computer. There's a old farm north of here that has an old pump that hasn't been used in forever, that I've been thinking about, like, just going and talking to them and seeing if they'd sell it. And then I want to make a deal with them, because it's lit fire. I post awesome videos on there. Nice. All right. Yeah. Go check out Faith's channel, or channels, I should say. I've been wanting to go talk to them, see if they'll sell, which I don't think they will. But if they'll sell, then I want them to go, because I know it's been there a really long time. And I want them to go back in their archives of pictures and stuff. And if there is any branding on that pump, I'd restore it to whatever it was. Just because. And then the other thing is I'll be able to say, I'm not a flipper. I'm not going to come here and buy it and then made it up all pretty and then sell it somewhere. Like, you can come drive past my house and see it. It'll be on display. We'll be in shortly, watching Nick's garage dynoing a 413 long ram intake. Nice, old Mac. Those things make a gob of power, but from what I understand, they make a gob of torque, but they really don't rev out that well. Now, back in the day, I know that they had long rams and they had short rams. And then one was for the street, and one they were using like for land speed racing, like Montville and stuff. And I think it was the short rams. Yep, they have to be hot. Actually, they're on the other side of things, Dan. They'd be cold, because the only way that because they don't get any heat from the manifolds, because they literally are like like the driver's side feeds the passenger side head, and vice versa, and they interlace like this. So literally your carbs sit out above the fenders, the inner fenders. Now there is heating tubes that come off of the manifolds that heat the plenums of the carbs, but they only put out good power when the manifolds are connected to the exhaust. Yes, yes, yes. You've been paying attention to Uncle Tony too. Yeah, I'm fascinated by them because they look neat as frig, but I'd still rather have a tunnel ram. But yeah, I think that'd be neat to have a street rod and have like long rams on them. And boy, if you find long rams, people want good money for them. Also heat them with coolant once the engine's warmed up. Yup. Mohawk, what's happening? What's happening, Stormtrooper? Yeah, I think a street rod would look cool as hell with those, just because it looks so exotic. And not to mention, how cool would it be if you had two thermoquads on that and you whack the throttle and you have two thermoquads in stereo mounted at you, one in the left channel and one in the right channel. Whoa. Yeah, actually, I think those would take take Carters or Edelbrocks, but a man can dream, can he? Thermoquad moan. Oh, I'm going to tease it. In about half an hour, I'll start doing my show and tell. I got some neat stuff to show you this week. Oh, Papa Top again. Beer time. No, it's Diet Pepsi. Can tune the carbs without reaching since they're over the inner fenders. Yeah. I smelled that you were stepping in, old Mac. My parts order left today. Sweet. Thanks, Coperino. I ordered the rest of the parts for my automatic transmission build, so that will be in later this week. So I'm excited about that. I can get that transmission back together, so at least I'll have an Auto Magic ready to go for shop truck. So that's going to be cool. I've only seen long rams in real life like twice. The one of them was on a Chrysler 300 with a 413, and the other one was probably in another one of those. Shop Truck will be racing at No Name this year. I hope to be. It all depends on money. Still got to order a bunch of engine parts, and it looks like a lot of it I'm going to be ordering through 440 Source. I have a 1934 Dodge Rat Rod on my Ardmore car show that had long cross rams hanging off 413. Pretty cool, I agree. Shop Truck's got a ways to go. Well, just engine-wise, at least I'll have the Auto Magic ready to rip, so I can focus more on finishing up my engine. I still got, I want to put baffles in the oil pan. I want to put an acceleration baffle and a deceleration baffle in the rear sump pan because it's truck. I've got ARP rod bolts I want to put in it. I got a rear main seal I want to put in it. And then, so that will pretty much get the bottom end taken care of. I still have to order a cam. I got old school lifters from Eaton that were made in 81. I need to order some hardened shafts. I'm going to order motor mounts and all the goodies from I'm going to have a very sizable order going to 440 source. So that'll be all right. At least it's all good stuff. Yeah, Shop Truck's got a ways to go. I would like to see Shop Truck at least being able to move around under its own power. I think that would, oh, and I got to get a drive shaft. So I'd love it if I could at least get Shop Truck able to move around yard drive. That would be awesome. Excuse me. Steve Morse did a really cool video on connecting rods the other day. Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage did a really great video on the lower end of that Pontiac engine that he's doing for the Big Green Machine. His our friend Kyle's Pontiac. Although a 70s pickup truck isn't too bad to assemble from parts, I'd done a cab swap on mine and had the doghouse out too. I did a cab swap on mine. I actually peeled the chassis, the body completely off of the chassis. I wire wheeled and painted the chassis, and then I did my front suspension mods. I did my rear suspension mods, so I lowered the whole truck and then put the body back on it. And so I got the front clip just light tossed right now with just a few bolts on Shop Truck for the time being, but I'm not going to put that all on until I can get the power plant in, because I want to have the whole front clip off of the truck to make it easier to stab the power plant into it, and then I'll put the front clip together around it. That way I can do headers and all that stuff unimpeded. Oh, and I want to get I'll probably order those soon. I want to get a set of stage 8 locking header bolts for it. Oh, my bed ain't been off since I got the truck. I'd love to go frame off on mine, redo the Bondo and metal. See, that's the thing, is I went and seeked out as clean of parts that I could find while still, keeping budget in mind. So the best stuff I could find within reasonable prices. And I've been doing pretty good so far. I've got the cleanest truck that I could probably have put together so far. I'm calling that truck though my hodgepodge Dodge, because it's a little bit of everything, but that's okay. It'll still cruise great. I still got to put a dash together. I still have to put a windshield in it, which I'm planning on. Maybe my next project will be like getting my dashboard out, getting it sanded down, painting the dash, and then I want to build a jig that it sits on, and then so it'll stay self-standing. And then I'm going to get all my wire harnesses and everything, and then start running the wire harness in it and plugging stuff in and getting it ready, because my friend Alex does auto glass, and I'm going to have him put a windshield in Shop Truck for me, but to take the dash out of that those years of Dodge, to get to those bolts that are at the front of the dash, you have to have the windshield out. There's hardly, you can cheat it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but Mex, welcome, my friend. Hola. But so my measly little plan is when I have Alex come over to do the windshield, I'll have that dash ready, the dash that's in it that's broken, or somebody drilled a hole in it, which really bugs me, but oh well. At least I got another dash. So my idea is to have the dash ready to rip. So all we have to do is pull the glass, finish pulling the rest of that dash out, and then immediately take my dash that's complete and put it in shop truck, and then get it buttoned up as much as need be, and then have Alex finish the glass install, and then I can finish the dash up how I need it. Yes. Ah, the H is silent, so it's hola. Gotcha. Not bad here. The problems are in 20 states now, but not here yet. I don't see why they would come here. Read 100. The H is silent. Hola. Okay. Pretty soon, Douglas hablamos español. Ah. Yeah, I hope they don't either, Max. Sounds like Fit has really hit the shan in down south of the border. Sounds like they need that Warren Zevon song. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Good tune. Okay, I knew that the X in Mexico, but yeah, but like Oaxaca, that doesn't, how it's pronounced is nothing like it looks like when it's spelled. This round, Alpa, X in Mexico. Sí, Hencho en Mexico. Oaxaca. Exactly. Exactly. Maybe someday, Max, you could scare me up some Michoacan plates, and seeming that Michoacan and Michigan are so close. What an effing mess. Yeah. This one shocked me. Whiskey Lucan. Yeah, Michoacan. Isn't that a state in Mexico? Oh, I'm not afraid. I am fine. Um, I am from Michigan, USA. Not afraid to take escape, like a Ford Escape. They are in Mazatlan, which is 4 hours south of me. 2 hours south is Culiacan, but they are already two cartels fighting there. What part of America do you live? I live in the east of America. I tried to keep this politically and religiously neutral. Saginaw, Michigan. I was born on Saginaw Bay. The last time this happened, the problems lasted about 36 hours. It'll take a little longer for the tantrum to calm down. Okay. Do you love your presence of your country? Try to keep it, we try to keep this politically neutral here. I didn't say I disliked him. I didn't say I liked him. I'm just saying that we tried to keep things politically neutral here. Thank you, Ma. Own a whole country? Wow. He wanted money, though. Yeah, big money to Max. Like $100 here in America is like a small fortune to Max. That's right. Hey, I'm very, very thankful for my Blue Shield Brigade. Used to be Blue Wrench Brigade, now it's Blue Shield. So does that mean you guys are insurance? The Blue Cross and the Blue Shield? That's all right. That's good insurance. Had a guy take offense to what I witnessed on a road trip. He said Mexico was his. I assured him that he did not own the country. I never heard from him again. I don't use shields on my truck. Okay. I want my wrench back. Blue Cross Blue Shield stopped insuring in your zip code. My dad is a diabetic. Oh. El Rancho. Well, think about this. If you have your shield, then you also have a sword. A sword. The El Rancho. That's right. Yeah, diabetes is nothing fun. Glad I'm not at my timeshare in Mexico. Yeah. Whereabouts, old Mac? Is the timeshare? Yeah. Ooh, Cabo San Lucas. Nice. You can, country. I won't. Asked a simple question on Instagram about stolen trucks in Mexico. Why do you think those were stolen from the U.S.? Mexico had those trucks as well, but I'm sure they were carjacked locally. I have 1791 likes and 32 responses, and some are from the guys that steal the trucks and sell them to Mexico. Oh, yeah. Grease Spot, what's happening? Good to see you. Been a minute. Excusez-moi. What kind do I make Braden feel better? What kind of what? A TRX is like 2,700,000 pesos. Good Lord. Me and Daryl are going to SEMA with my car? Cool. Cool. SEMA's it, dude. Just to be there is some. That's huge, Grease Spot. Good for you. Good for you. Wow. 2,700,000 pesos. Jesus. Just seems like a huge amount of money when it really isn't. I mean, it's still well over $100,000, I'm sure, American, but I didn't realize that turned into $100,000 is 2,700,000 pesos. No, I didn't, Grease Spot, but that is cool. Oh, lots of taxes. Gotcha. 150,000, give or take. Okay. Wow. Bean Street, what's happening, my guy? Do you still need a header for a diplomat, Ken? Because I can try to have one scared up for you by the time No Name happens. I'm sure you don't care about the color as long as it's not all cracked up and goofed up. That's a lot of pesos. That is a lot of pesos. That's a whole lot of pesos. That's mucho pesos. Okay, I'll try. What's happening, New Guy's Guitar Tom? All right, I'll try to have one scared up for you by the time No Name comes around, Ken. They're all about the same, aren't they, Ken? There isn't any nuances, or would you just be happy? And how complete do you want it? Do you want headlight bezels and all that stuff, or do you just need a bare header panel? And does it have to be for a diplomat? Will a New Yorker one work? These are things I need to know. Dipster? Huh? No, not header exhaust, like the nose piece to a Dodge Diplomat. Yeah, the first time that Main Street Mopar asked for a header, that's exactly what I thought he was asking about. And I'm like, what? My Monday was pretty awesome. Boss got a hold of me today and said, hey, we're real slow tomorrow. You want to take Tuesday off? And I said, yeah, sure. So I'll try working in the shop tomorrow. Header panel, it's called to avoid confusion. Yes. Correct. I have a guitar good, and I'm only good at playing the G string. Oh, diplomats get termed dipsters as fleet vehicles, as it was in the 80s. Aha! Go live tomorrow when I'm in the shop. See, the only problem, I'd love to do that, country, but the only problem with that is I need to get a range extender for my Wi-Fi, because the Wolverine garage is made of block, and I'm going through so many walls to get out in the shop. Like if I'm right inside the door, like when I would do lives in my shop, that's about all I can be in the shop and still have full Wi-Fi signal. And sometimes it's kind of iffy. Excuse me. So it's hard to go live in the shop because I won't have any signal. G-strings seem to break around me. There is a Stevie Ray Vaughan, and we'll go to, there's the man himself, Stevie Ray. There is a Stevie Ray Vaughan little clip. He breaks a string while playing, and he's doing the tune "Look at Little Sister," and his guitar tech goes up, and it's the break in the song, and he unplugs, and he still keeps everything going, stops playing, goes to the spoken part, unplugs, slips it off, slips the new guitar on, plugs in, and picks up perfectly. Goes right back to playing right after the spoken word part. And yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, Stevie Ray is one of my favorites. Always has been. Yeah, for sure, Stevie Ray. Around when they changed the currency, the old money was worthless. I've seen some of it, and it's interesting to look at the original invoices for these cars over the years. Yeah. I'm so jealous, Danster, that you've seen SRV. A friend of mine's grandfather, he was like a big wig general contractor, and he did a huge construction job where he spent like 9 or 10 years down in Mexico on this huge construction project where he was like the head contractor and everyone reported to him. Even subcontractors reported to him. And uh when the whole project was done, as a thank you gift, the company that he was working for, they took a $50, this is a long time ago, but they took a $50 gold, 50 peso gold coin, and they folded it in half and made it into a money clip for him. And every day, if you were with him, he'd pull that out and pull out his money. He used it every day till he passed on. I need one for a Diplomat or Grand Fury. I already have one for a fifth. Gotcha. All right. So it's got to be a Diplomat or a Grand Fury. Gotcha. Painting a Swept Lab cab tonight. Always kind of like those Fifth Avenues. I think Frankie Baby himself advertised them. Yeah, I've seen some of Dutch's paintwork already, and the color for the swept line is just beautiful. I won't give away what color it is, but it's yeah, it fits the truck. It's very period correct. It's going to be mucho sharp when it's done. I know the color scheme he's going for, and yeah, I'm excited. Hell, last time I seen it, it was rattle can black. I'm glad you went out and rode snowmobile today, Braden. You need to do something to keep your spirits up. Hey, Dutch, we're going to have to go out to Top Secret Yard and get a header panel for a Fifth Avenue, or not a Fifth Avenue, sorry, a Diplomat or a Grand Fury for Mean Street Mopar. The trails are not open, Braden. We don't have any snow. All our snow is gone. My yard is green. It's been 60 degrees. It's been raining. The only snow that we have left are snow banks, and they got to be big ones because all the snow is gone in my yard. We have no snow. Mine is rattle can blue, but I wet sanded and buffed it so it looks real decent. Yeah. Good. Better Diplomat to have the Dodge grill. We'll work on that for you. We'll definitely work on, yeah, better the Diplomat. Yeah, to have the Dodge grill for sure. Yeah, we'll get Mean Street Mopar taken care of. Now, rust-free metal, you don't ask for that here in Michigan because it's very, very hard to find. But all the accoutrements, we can get you the accoutrements. Hell, interior parts are kind of the thing. I knew some old guys that made a tidy living taking driveline and interior parts down southwest, and bringing home rust-free car bodies back. There are no big banks here, and they were saying that we got more than in 1978. In 78, there were still snow piles in May in the mall parking lot. Oh, I'm not surprised. That would really help me out, Dutch and Dougster. Thanks. No problem, man. Hey, we got rust-free metal for Nathan. Oh, that's right, you did. I'm still really excited that all worked out because some rotten, unscrupulous bastard did a hit and run in the night on our friend Nathan's, what was that, a Fifth Avenue? It was such a nice car, too. And, yeah, some unscrupulous bastard didn't even have the guts to leave some info. He just hit it and dashed. What a pile of garbage. Did you guys see that New York is getting 18 to 26 inches last? Work there was waist deep last I saw, and they were riding snowmobile down the main roads. Oh, F-body Newport. R-body. Okay. It's still a really nice car. I'm really excited that Dutch was able to help him. Well, that Top Secret Yard is really awesome, first of all. But I'm really happy that you guys got him fixed up. That's awesome. Very awesome. Okay, so it is at the top of the hour, and I plan to do show and tell at the top of the hour. And pardon my reach. First thing on show and tell is I picked up some gold Moroso tappet covers for big block Mopar. Ooh. Gold. My favorite. So I got a pair of these. And then when I went to go see 6% Recycled, he helped me get these, and the anodizing's a little, they're dented a little bit, and the anodizing's a little goofed up, but what do you expect? I mean, these things were new in the 80s, so they're probably 40 something years old, but hell, the inside of them looks freaking amazing. I wish the outside looked as good as the inside does. Yeah, I always wanted the gold ones. There's always something about the gold. And I think these gold ones will look really good against the orange of my engine. Now these are going to be sitting atop of unpainted aluminum heads. So I'll kind of have silver, gold, and orange going on, but it's going to look great. So that's number one. I only grabbed one. Of course I have a pair, but I only grabbed one. And then I'll save this for last, and then be right back. I picked up a Melling M63HV standard pressure high volume oil pump for big block Mopar, and so it's Monday. Hey, Dougie. Hi, Ginger. What's happening? Good to see you. So I got my standard pressure high volume oil pump, which means it's going to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to have to pick myself some a little bit longer bolts for it, and then I'm going to clean. I'm going to be working on that. That's going to be part of my order from 440 sources. I'm going to have to get the pinned intermediate shaft. Last production of those valve covers was the same as direct connection colored valve covers, around 95 or 96. I have the DC and Moroso catalog from that year on Grandpa's Garage. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's part of the deal, is I will get the pin drive shaft for it too. Yep, buy once, cry once, exactly. As a matter of fact, when I bought the oil pump, I bought it from Autobone, and I usually buy my oil at Autobone. I usually don't do a lot of shopping there, but they had it in stock. Everywhere else, either A, couldn't get it, or B, had to order it, and they had it on the shelf. And while I'm there, he's like, I go to buy it, he's like, you got $20 worth of rewards coming. Do you want to use that on buying this part? And I'm like, yes, I do. So I saved $20. The radio delete bezel we picked together is in the Swepty dash now. Best find of that day. Yeah, that was a pretty good find. Well, those Fratzogs that go on the back of the cab, that was a pretty good find too for the Swepty. Well, that front bumper was pretty nice find too. Yeah, it's so hard to find the radio delete panel. So valve cover, oil pump. This one I got last Friday from one of my coworkers, and I just couldn't believe it. He walks up to me and he goes, I found this at my shop, and he goes, I want to donate this to the cause. And I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. What do you want for it? He goes, you can have it, man. And I was like, wow. But anyways, it is Cooper tires. It's metal. And it's, I'll lay it up against the license plates. It's metal, and it's got legs on it that flip up. There it is from the side. This sits down in front of the tire, so the tire would be here, like at the gas station. This would sit in front of a new tire on display. And I'm a Cooper tire guy, so heck yeah. So big thanks to my coworker for giving that. He gave it to me. So definitely gonna be going up in the Wolverine garage. And the thing is frickin' minty, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm mucho excited. I was free is good, Coperino. Well, me and this guy, we're big gearheads. We're always talking shop, and he's been a really cool dude. So I'm certainly impressed. Yeah, if it's free, it's definitely worth saving up for, right, guys? Okay, I smushed up against the license plates. Everything seems all right. All right, excellent. Yeah, free is for me. Hey, it's Dr. G. Somebody told that, I believe it was Advanced Auto, had bought out CarQuest and was using Rock Auto to clearance their leftover inventory. So I went to Rock Auto and searched for clearance. Free is why I'm 20 pounds overweight. Well, did you find anything, Dr. G? And yeah, I did find there was CarQuest stuff on the shelf when we had a couple of, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, so Christmas of 24. We had a couple of Advanced Auto stores go out of business, and I went crazy buying stuff. Out of 2 stores, I bought a brand new Edelbrock AVS2 650 for $187. Hell yeah. And then I went to that same day, I went to another Advanced Auto, and my friend was working the counter there, and he helped me use his employee discount, and he got me a AVS2 for, I want to say, $240. It wasn't I bought you a world championship title, but you have to wrestle me for it. Oh, for you see, Hulk Hogan, that I am the cream, and the cream rises to the top. Brother, I am going to beat you so bad, Hulk Hogan, I can feel it. uh, uh, Hulkster, you're something else, my guy. Now, if for actual real wrestling, like Greco-Roman wrestling, I really like Greco-Roman wrestling, like actual wrestling. My dad was part of the founding fathers of my high school that him and I both went to. Not at the same time, of course. But he was part of the founding fathers. They actually got petitioned and actually got a his junior year in high school. They finally got a wrestling team for the school, and everyone seriously thought that when they were talking about wrestling, they thought about professional wrestling, and they actually had to show people clips of actual Olympic, like Greco-Roman wrestling before they finally went, oh. Told me that I looked like Rowdy Piper. Wow. Dean the Machine. Dino the Machino. Rowdy Roddy Piper. Yeah, he was probably one of the first I had ever seen of men in kilts. When I was a little kid. It's like, he's wearing a dress? No, that's not a dress. My best wrestling is with vessels of alcohol. He had a wrestling school there, so a lot of the big guys went through there. It was in the mid-90s. Oh, cool. Dino, good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Oh, Dino might have JJ Walker say that. Dino might. Angle was an Olympic gold medalist. Wow. The Steiner brothers were actually from Michigan. Well, they wore U of M, varsity coats and everything. Speaking of old wrestlers. Yep, Steiners were Michigan. Yep. No, not D. Snyder. It's true. It's true. The first time I went and seen, Buff Del Campo's here. First time I went to see professional wrestling, they said it was Greco-Roman. I got there and they were hitting us with chairs. That was 1963. I was 9. Dwayne Schneider. It was said that Dusty Rhodes, the wrestler, one of the reasons why he always wore his hat so low was because he would cut his forehead. What they do is they do a cut on the forehead and they put Vaseline over it. And then when he would get a hit to the head, he'd act like he shielded his face and he'd wipe that Vaseline off. Then they get blood all over the place to make it look dangerous. I believe Angle was undefeated in high school and college and all the way to gold medal without a loss. If I'm not mistaken. Can anyone confirm, or do I have the wrong guy? Wow, Roddy Piper got stabbed by a fan? I'm not surprised. Wow. Think you got mistaken for the Hulk Mohawk? Wow, brother. I don't know about that one, Dr. G, but if that's true, if you have that good of a winning streak, then you are one bad mama jamma. Used to go to a local school and watch AWA wrestling. Okay. When I was in high school, I was on the swim team during the winter and back when I was fit. But all my cousins, they wrestled. So we'd wrestle, and I wrestled with my cousins. And I'm not saying I was anything awesome or anything like that, but I started to actually got decent with my cousins, and that was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, I would never say I was ready to compete or anything like that, but just sparring with my cousins. I'll tell you what, that's work. Wrestling is real work. Watched a documentary with Bret Hart. When I went to Cooperstown, New York in 2018, like all the streets, I've talked about it before, all the streets were just lined with celebrities, usually of baseball. But Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, was there. And like most guys, you could just walk up and be like, Patty, what's happening? Usually you could walk up and be like, hi, famous baseball player, how are you? And they'd say, hi, doing great, nice to see you. And, you know, you could talk to him real quick. With Jimmy Hart, if you didn't pay, he didn't play. Like you could say, Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. And he'd just look at birds in the trees and look at cracks in the cement. Unless he had his slip in his hand saying that you paid, he wasn't playing. You were getting nothing out of him. He had that white coat with the hearts all over it, and he had a bullhorn. But yeah, I only seen him once actually do his thing. I'll wrestle you for food, and if I win that, I'll wrestle you for beer. Jimmy Hart was in a famous band in the 60s? What band, Hulk? Now I'm interested. Hey, Dino, how about we just forget about the whole wrestling part and I'll take you out for dinner and beers? How's that sound? Because I'd hate to get mopped. Dino would mop the floor with me. Oh man, I can look it up, but they're famous. I'm seriously interested. Please try to find it, Hulkster. I remember grade school at our parish festival. We had WWA before the WWF wrestlers, and Andre the Giant, the Sheik, and others were the main attraction for our school gym with the match. Very cool. Ain't gonna cheapen myself for quids. His famous song was Piss Off the Porch. The Gentrys. Okay. I don't know why everyone's pissing off the porch. What did the porch do to get pissed off? Why are you guys making the porch mad? What did the porch do to you? It's just sitting outside. Jeez. Piss off the Lincoln Continental Spare. What's even funnier is the cars that got the knockoff, like the accessories. Like you could buy a Continental kit for any car from like the J.C. Whitney. He actually wrote 1 million songs for all the wrestlers' themes. Wow, impressive. That's really impressive. Cool factoids, Hulkster. Hulkamaniac. There is a comedian. Her name is Erica, and I can't think of her last name, but she's Mr. T's daughter. And she's like, went to school in some private school in Greater Chicago, and she'd tell people who her dad was, and nobody believed her. That it got to the point where she just didn't bother telling anybody because no one believed her. Only hornets piss off the hornet's nest, so you don't piss off. I could not with a mop, but Dakotas could. David go. The first wrestler I ever met was Mad Dog Vacant. Okay. The only wrestler I've seen in person was Jimmy Hart. And I was probably about the closest I was maybe about 15 feet from him. What's happening, silly? Dean, you're so funny. I will not eat them on a plane. I will not eat them on a train. I will not eat them here nor there, and I will not eat them anywhere. The Gentrys keep on dancing. Okay. Mason Rage. No, that doesn't sound familiar. Then again, my awareness of professional wrestling started in the early 80s with Hulkamania. This one kid that I went to school with, I remember when he came to school with his yellow and red Hulkamania shirt. Everyone's like, cool. He's like, I got to see him here. Got to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pretty cool dude. I'm glad. Oh, Vashon. Gotcha. Thank you, Mohawk. Pouring myself a drinky poo. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh! At work, we'll get boards that break off the skids, and at work we'll get boards broke off skids. I'll pick them up and walk them to the trash can. I always hold them over my head and oh. Very rarely do I get I'm like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, oh, and then every so often you'll get someone that's like, who? And you're just like, you're dead to me. No, just kidding. Walking around like the bushwhackers. That dude was a monster. Bam Bam Bigelow. He was mostly in the Northeast, but there was one of Vince McMahon's bodyguards. I know him. He sells reconditioned phones now. Good deals, good phones. Nice. How long was this 2x4? I don't know. Gonna have to ask him. Of course, Dougie will know that Dugan was the inaugural Royal Rumble winner. I'm sorry to report, Mr. Wilburn, no, I did not. That is news to me. That is news to me. How long is your 2x4? I really need to know. I don't know. Maybe you're going to have to ask the ladies. I think it was only like 4 foot. Two by four could be millimeters for all we know. Hulkamania will run wild forever. Mine's 104, according to Lowe's. Nice. Yeah, that's right. Because every so often we have to brace certain loads in a semi trailer, and most semi trailers now are 104 wide, so we can put a whole 2x4 in there. We got this thing, I call them witches' shoes, and it kind of looks like a shoe. It has a big flat part on it with some mother in law tape, Two Face. And and it's got this pocket that the 2x4 actually slides into, so you just peel the adhesive off, stick it to the wall, shove a 2x4 in it, then take the other one and you slide it up into place, pull the adhesive off, and then stick it where it needs to be, and holds it actually pretty good. 6 foot's only 72 inches. There, Tom. We got some 2x4s from Germany. They look big because they're actually 5 by 10 centimeters. The 2x4s, we in the early 90s, my parents made an addition we did an addition on our house, and we had to tie in the new addition to the existing structure, and that was actually pretty cool because my parents' house was built in the teens. I want the 19 teens, and that was really cool because the 2x4s in the house were actually 2 inches by 4 inches, and they were hardwood, which is even more amazing. Yeah, everything of that house is built skookum as frig. 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch, I believe. All I remember is like a meter and a yard are very close. So 2 meters is about 6 feet, give or take. I can't remember who all I met at Dusty Rhodes' birthday party I was at in Atlanta. I know that China was there when she was only 19. Junkyard Dog and Brian Pillman were there, along with, seemed like 25 other people. Wow, look at old Mohawk hobnobbing with the celebs. And rough hewn. Ours are rough hewn too. They give you splinters if you look at them. Are you talking about my parents' house, or your own, Dan? Because that's what they were. They were rough sawn. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's really sad when because I remember someone actually going and getting custom sawn actual 2x4s to do a project, and then taking those new actual 2 inch by 4 inch 2x4s, and then laying them next to a modern 2x4 to see the difference between the two, and it's considerable. Oh yeah, modern 2x4s are not exactly. Yeah, they're thinner and shorter. But it's one of those things where, like, I'm sure you could probably, if you could get examples, see like the evolution of the 2x4 when they started to, make them smaller and make them smaller. It is crazy to see. Like, I remember going to like a place that actually had a sawmill on display. It wasn't a working sawmill, and they had a log where they had cut it all up and then they mocked it all back up with spaces in between it, so you could see like the posts and the 2x and the 2x12s or whatever they gleaned off of the core of the log, and then they had all the shavings that they took off of it when they started to square it all up. They had that all exploited, and it was really neat to see. Well, to see how much waste is taken off of a log before you finally get down to where you can get actual boards out of it. The house I had in Illinois was built in 1911. Had real 2x4s made from ironwood. After 100 years, you cannot hammer a nail into the wall. That ironwood, I've seen guys take chainsaws and dull chainsaw blades and see sparks fly off of the wood. Got to the point where they just took the ironwood trees and they pushed them over and they just shoved them in the swamp. They didn't even bother to cut them or anything. Yeah, I know not waste. They make plywood out of the shavings, but a lot of the sawmills sell bunks of slab wood. There's a lot of people around here that buy those slab wood bunks and they heat their houses with it. I know this one old guy who's very frugal. That's how he heats his house. And he goes down to Hobo Fright and he buys the cheapest circular saws that he can buy. And then that's what he does. You'll see him outside on a sawhorse, and he's cutting that plank to wood stove lengths. And when that cheap circular saw gives up the ghost, he goes to Hobo Fright and buys another one. It's like, okay. And it's like, why don't you buy a chainsaw? This works. Don't have to fuel this up. Okay. Why don't you buy a better circular saw? Why? I just buy a new one when this one breaks. Okay. I got a skill from Ace. Yeah, get a real skill saw. Even better, get the bevel drive skill. Yeah, those things kick ass. That's funny. You know, Chuck Norris, fun fact 354. Chuck Norris is not hung like a horse. Horses are hung like Chuck Norris. You also learn it doesn't help to pay to help anybody. Chuck Norris can hear sign language. Wow. You know, in 1982, Chuck Norris flushed a condom down the drain, and then a year later came the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Coincidence? I think not. Chuck Norris has a third fist hidden in behind his beard. Sorry, Max. Just messing around. Chuck Norris can speak Braille. You know what's even funnier is that Chuck Norris gets in on the Chuck Norris jokes. That's so funny. That's right. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he's not pushing himself up. He's pushing the world down. That's right. The sun will rise tomorrow because Chuck Norris told me. Oh, this is so good. The truck is now known as Optimus Prime. Every time I start a chainsaw, I do have an Alabama guy saying, I know, ain't got no gas. Ain't got no gas in it. Mm-hmm. French fry taters. Mm-hmm. Death is afraid to tell him. I ain't gonna tell him. You tell him. I ain't gonna tell him. Too tough to die. All right, I'm gonna be right back. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Oh. Okay. Early Mission license plates. Get yours today. Allow 5 to 8 weeks for delivery, but pay now. We're sorry, but all offers for Michigan license plates have been revoked. They are not for sale. It scares the shit out of it. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Wow, he counted to the very highest number. Oh, and what live stream isn't complete without a visit from the Catster? And a heart attack is heart lost. Actually, now that I have my cat, I can say, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." Down you go, bud. That's funny. Once had a heart attack, his heart lost. Yep, my cat does, yeah. Has fur, yeah. Catster rated. Yeah, those like Egyptian hairless cats, I've never actually seen one in real life, but they're just kind of weird. I'm sure they're fine. Just take a minute to get used to. Fun fact of the day, fur is hair. Wow. Thanks, Tom. Speaking of hair, years ago I worked at a place where one of the salesmen there, he was old and he was bald, but he had toupees, plural. He had 3 of them. And it was so damn funny. You could tell that he spent a lot of money for these, and it still looked like he had a dead animal on his head. But the 3 toupees that he had, one was fresh haircut, One was, not ready for a haircut, grown out a little bit. And so grown out a little bit, not ready for a haircut. And then the third one was ready for a haircut. So like every 6 weeks, he would rotate through his toupees. And he wasn't fooling anybody. But yeah, I don't even want to know what those things costed. If you're Australian, Mr. Bond, you can come tomorrow. It depends on who has it. This is true. Mex is right. That depends on who. Okay. We're going to do the mugshot. (1939) Michigan plate. You're covered in furry hair? Wow. His top was scorched. So guys who are just bald on top, are they really bald, or are they A, taller than their hair, or B, just really bad at walking on their hands for many years? The coupe was in toupee. Oh, that's right. We're here in America, we call it a coupe, but in other countries they call them coupes. I need some transplants up front. Yeah, I could see that. Ken, just go for the Lex Luthor haircut. But I ain't gonna get any. Yeah, I've got the solar panel going on, thanks to Dad. My great grandfather, he had like a 4 hair comb over. He still parted his hair when he combed his hair in the morning. That's funny. He was pretty bald. I will say this, that I've got more hair at 47 than my dad did when he was 47. Thanks, Dad. Aren't your necks great? I seen Tony's Mex, you must be talking about Tony's latest video on the new Charger 6-pack. Yeah, I did see it. I heard that these Hurricane engines, or the 6-pack engine, I heard that the turbo housings are cast as part of the head. So when these what kind of daddy are you, everybody? I'm a cat daddy, I'm a dog daddy, I'm a rat daddy. Sometimes Lady Dougster calls me daddy. That's about it. Yes, that one. Tony needs to tell us how he really feels. I want a 1920 Grandma. Give me a multiple choice on the answer. I am still boycotting Tony after what he did. I may forgive him soon, though. Okay. Yeah, I heard that the six pack or Hurricane engine, the turbo housings are part of the head. So, with my experience with turbos, you're more of a daddy-o, Dougster. Yeah, I am more of a daddy-o. Daddy-o. All right. I'm interested to know too, Max. But yeah, with my experience with turbos, like a lot of times those turbo housings will get really messed up and they need a lot of work to sometimes too much work to be brought back into spec. So if that thing gobbles up a turbo, so does that mean we just throw the whole head away and we have to start with a whole new head just because one of the turbo housings died? Ah, Inspector Bruce, welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's always good to, oh, giggity. Rebuild the turbo. Does the housing die or what's inside? It's kind of see all of the above, Mex. It depends on the how the turbo's built. Because is it a ball bearing turbo or is it a bushing turbo? Because you just have a lot of times you just have bushings inside, and sometimes the bushing will seize on the shaft of the turbo, and then it spins the bushing in the housing, and it can really kick the housing's ass. A lot of times, if you let a turbo go too long, and then everything starts getting out of spec, well, then you have the impeller start doing this inside the housing, and it can start hitting the case and starting to wreak havoc inside the case. And if it gets bad enough, you can have a turbo give up the ghost, and then it just dusts an engine where it just gives up the ghost and ejects its parts down into the engine. So, ooh, good eats for the inspector tonight. Good for you, Bruce. Yeah, it is a dumb design. Planned obsolescence. Yeah. So instead of, I mean, I understand what I like. I mean, the upside is that you have everything's integrated into a smaller package. That I like, but I look at it from a practical standpoint of these things have a shell, are going to need to be replaced. And instead of just taking the engine, leaving the engine together and just taking the turbo off and having send your turbo out for remanufacture and then bring it back and put it back in, now we got to get butthole deep in the engine just to work on it. And not to mention, these things are 3-liter inline sixes, and they're spraying them with, I guess, like 30 pounds of boost. I remember when I can't remember the head of Dodge's name, but he's a cool guy. And he was driving these Chargers that we have now. He was driving it. He's like, it always feels like it's spooled. And I'm sure it does because they're turboing the wee out of the thing. No wonder it's always like the top of the line Charger's like 600 horsepower. which is nuts. You know, when did we get away from the 1 horsepower per cube rule? Because, I mean, we're taking a 3-liter engine and we're cramming that kind of horsepower out of the thing. We're like making like 2. Yeah, Kasinkus. Yes, that's exactly it. Hi, Fox dude. Good to see you. Yeah, Kasinkus. I think he's a cool guy. I like him. Thank you, Max. But yeah, he was all the boost all the time. Yeah. So yeah, I don't understand why they're pushing them so hard. I want to see how long, like Tony said, I want to see how long these things last, because they're Caniscus. Ah, Caniscus. Thank you, Dan the Man. Caniscus. I drove up there twice after being invited, and he wouldn't open the door or answer the phone when we knew he was there. Found out later that he does that to a lot of people. Oh. You know, I think I would, yeah, to go visit and then not be ghosted once you get there. Yeah, I think I'd be a little mad about that too. Well, at least it's a good reason, Mohawk. It's a bunch of crap. That is garbage. No, I've not won a turbo from Cletus McFarland. I wouldn't. Free turbo? Yeah, okay. Shop Truck does have a low compression 413 in it with dish pistons. Perfect for a turbo or a supercharger. Just got to get in it and open up the ring gap a little bit. Little bit of spoolie boys. Back in the day, some friends of mine had it was the first compound turbo setup I had ever seen. They had 4 turbos on a 440 Chrysler, and they had 2 huge turbos and a small turbo blowing into the big turbo, one for each bank. And their problem was that it was like an on-off switch. They tip into the throttle, it'd go to boost, and it just took off. And they had such a problem with it, they ended up selling it to a friend, and he went and played with it and actually made it a little easier to use. But what a crazy setup that was. Boom, open the ring gap and Turbski and Bob's your uncle. That's right. I don't know. Turbos are cool. I have the most experience with turbos dealing with a lot of diesel engines. Turbos are cool, but superchargers are always made my heart go pitter pat. And I've always wanted a 671 or an 871 blower. Yeah. That's what I really want. So Turbskis are cool, but blowers are cooler. Set them up one way to where it has a quiet exhaust, so when I punch the throttle, all you hear is that hear that supercharger. That'd be cool. Okay, we're gonna call you Mai. Welcome, Mai, because I can't pronounce your name. But welcome, Mai. Hi, Tom. Tom? What do we talk about here? Nothing and everything all at the same time. We call it boldly going nowhere. Imagine being Gale Banks and you only had to do one thing to make a name for yourself: a twin bank turbocharged engine. Exactly. Yeah, there was a guy that we know. He had a high compression small block Chevy, and he found a blower for it. And he got the blower intake, and he put it on the high compression engine, and we're like, don't do it. And he's like, well, why? It was like, high compression and boost don't go hand in hand. And then actually, it's Jamal Osama. Okay. Hi, Jamal. Nice to see you. Old dude chat. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, he put a blower on a high compression engine, and we're like, that engine isn't gonna last. And he's like, he did it anyway, and he drove it around, and it was mean for just a little bit. And then one morning, when the barometric pressure was not in his favor, he sent it. That truck was actually was actually pretty cool. It was a '65 Chevy truck that he did a whole bunch of work to. He put a cage in it, and did the he actually did the tub on the rear and everything, and it was in primer gray. Had a 4.9 out back. It was well built. One of the better builds that he did. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic by the um request of Max. So I'm going to pour myself something to drink. And we're back. So I was asked Lexus or Toyota. Actually, either will be just fine because Lexus and Toyotas are the same thing. Moment of silence for Doug's water break. So Lexus or Toyota, I'll take either. Um, they're good. I do not have even though I am more into American cars. I do not. Uh, all right, that's a Bookham. Thank you, Danster. Definitely Mean Street. Definitely. Well, it's part of the trolls are part of the game, I guess, unfortunately. Oh well. I am from Michigan, USA. I'll tell you what, Dan the Man, the old Danster's quick draw McGraw most of the time. Do. Book 'em. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I already knew that he was, already skating on a thin pond when I seen thin ice. Oh well. Yeah, baby. I poured more water, this time with mic off. You're just in time for the Troll Patrol. The Troll World Tour. Now with even more troll. Been trying to set up Mexican spec with a lot of my lefty loosey friends as a mobile moderation squad from Mexican. Oh, I understand. You're welcome, Mex. Yeah, that's right. You hear that right sound, you're like, man, that really, yeah. Oh, there'll be more, ladies and germs. There'll be more. It's the P-tone? Well, no, this time I muted the mic so no one heard it, but they still came, man. Oh, guys, tonight for dinner I went to the local grocery store and they had I bought a homemade Polish sausage as a coil, and then I had some fresh kielbasa, or sorry, not kielbasa, sauerkraut. There we go, sauerkraut. So I did Polish sausage and sauerkraut for dinner. Good stuff. Barbecue wings. Had chili spaghetti. Oh yeah, skyline chili, isn't it? Isn't that what they call it, Danster? I don't like candy corn, so no, there'll be no candy corn wieners. Yeah, Palaska kielbasa. Yes. Ruby, come here. Ruby. Hi, girly. There's a Dougster sighting. There's Ruby. You can see is her tail. There she is. There's my girl. I had bald head dead chicken for car. Yes, red healer. Spaghetti and bacon. Mmm. Everything's better with bacon on it. Yeah, Ruby is my second red healer. I used to have another red healer. His name was Patch. He passed on. And then I've had two blue healers, a male and a female. Update on my friend Dale Evans, who got hit Saturday. He has a crushed pelvis, and his sister-in-law was in the car with him and his wife. His sister-in-law is in critical condition as of last night. I hope your friend and his sister-in-law pull through. That's just horrible. It's just horrible. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. Yep, Ruby Red Dog. That's exactly why we named her Ruby. Yeah, for sure. A prayer for Mohawk's friends, for sure. And I mean, it's bad enough that beautiful Dodge Brothers car got hurt, but cars are replaceable. People are not. So, sorry, it's already sad enough that someone perished in that. So let's hope that the other two folks make a full recovery. Feeling kind of spunky. Well, hit the trails again, Braden. Yeah, that really sucks about that beautiful car, but like I said, cars are replaceable. Oh, I didn't realize your trails close. What, they close at sundown or something? That's weird. Our trails are open all the time. I don't think they ever close the trails. I know they don't close the trails because in the spring you'll see people still riding the trails when 40% of the snow's gone. Let's go run away from Georgia State Police, and then they can try to go pit Georgia. My cousin is works for the police department in Georgia. I won't say what county. I'll ask him personally for you. Yeah, I'm not in the mood to run from the police. We did dumb stuff like that when I was a kid. I had a friend of mine that would run from the cops for something to do. Yeah. They practice, if you go by Lansing, Michigan, which is our Michigan state capital. There's a huge state police training center right next to the highway. As you drive past, you can look in there, and they have this huge sprinkler they'll put out, and they'll wet down this entire parking lot. And they have a cruiser that has these big legs on it, and it looks like a big toy. And what it is they purposely make the cadets take those cars out and then get the car out of control on purpose to try to keep it under control, but drive in extreme situations. So if they do end up rolling the car, those legs will touch down and stuff, and you'll see them driving hard. And other times they have cars that actually have roll bars built into them so they can practice the pit maneuver with it. I need to make a correction. Last night I said it was Dave, not Dale. Gotcha. In my mind, I take Dave because my old boss was Dale Evans. Sorry about that. You're fine, Mohawk. I still feel terrible for him. And in honor of Dave, Dodge Brothers hubcaps. There's like 10 of them. Do I with the wheel on? All of those potatoes. Good to know, Braden. Yeah, that's right. As the weather heads east across Lake Michigan and across Michigan, then if it keeps going, it'll go right across Lake Erie and then straight to Pennsylvania. So yeah, I'm sure Pennsylvania gets a whole bunch of that lake effect snow off of Erie. No sleep till Indy. Gonna be up a little while, isn't that not until March there, Main Street? Autorama is usually in March. Yeah. Yeah, the lake effect is no joke. Trust me. I know all about it. Next week. Okay. Oh, cool. 39 Dodge half-ton truck. Cool. Sounds to me like Braden was jealous. He's like, wow, maybe someday I can match her caliber. March 6th and 7th. Nice. $8 miles an hour Cadillac bumper. I don't like the self-driving cars because they haven't quite figured them out yet, and there's still things um that there's still a lot of bugs that need to be worked out. And like, look at it this way: I need more money. Don't we all, Ken? Don't we all? Um, where the self-driving cars get confused and do a lot of dumb stuff. And I mean, just think about this. How many times has your GPS messed you up and tried to make you drive into a lake or drive down? Hell, one time I had GPS send me down this dirt road and told me to turn into a farmer's field, and then it told me my destination was on the right. And I was literally in a farmer's field in the middle of nowhere. And I had to turn my truck and trailer around to get out of there. So, yeah, self-driving needs to really, really, yeah, make a U-turn now. Yeah, I'm getting tired of that. Man, coming home from No Name Nationals, I stopped in what was it? Rantoul, Illinois to fuel up, and I have GPS running, and I turn off of the highway, and it wants me to get back onto the highway, and it's freaking out. At the next left, take a U-turn. At the next right, turn a U-turn. On Miller Street, take a U-turn. Turn right on Paris Avenue. It's like, shut the frig up. I need to get fuel. And of course, you can't easily mute the stupid thing, and it's flipping out. Now you don't see the drunk driver on the road. Now you see the drunk texting. Yeah, great. I like the EV that drove through an active crime scene. Yeah, GPS does suck. I watched a guy in a self-driving taxi on YouTube. It ran a red light, and he said, "Oh, I guess I'm okay." Had that happen in Arizona. Sent us into the reservation onto a sand road. I told Tracy, just don't let me off. Yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine was talking about, her and her brother lived in Pipestone, Minnesota. And they lived really close to one of the reservations. And there was a liquor store really close to the reservation. And they were telling me at 7 o'clock, the store opened at 7 o'clock in the morning. And they said that the line, by the time they got to work and opened the store, there was a square building. They said there was a line all the starting at the door and went all the way around the building. And then after the building, then there was a line straight up the sidewalk from the street to get into the liquor store. There was that many people waiting to get in at 7 a.m. every morning. It's like, damn, really? Has anyone found hogwash bug juice? Which one is your favorite and what color and why? Hogwash bug juice. Oh, yeah, exactly. Are you talking about those little like belly washer things? They're basically like sugar water for kids. Yeah, I never cared for those. Now the little barrels, I like those with the foil tops on them. I like the green ones and the orange ones. I don't think I ever had bug juice. I remember little kids drinking them. They love those things. This is an intervention. We're here because we love you, Ken. I don't know. I lost my taste for basketball. I like football. I like hockey. I like baseball. Hey, my Tigers are already playing preseason games. We got Justin Verlander back for pitching for the Tigers. Yeah. Yeah, pure sugar and dyes. No, thank you. Exactly. Exactly. GPS almost killed us one night. We sent us to some town in the seat of the Sonoma cartel at night. We were driving a 99 Ram Charger. We don't trust it anymore. Exactly. Yeah, MLB is starting up their preseason. Let's go. That's right. Hey, Braden, where does the Brew Crew do their spring training? Do they do it in Florida or do they do it out west in Arizona? I don't watch as many sports as I used to, but every Arizona. Okay, I figured as much. Bye, Max. Good to see you. Thanks for coming as always. Hello. All right. I have to take a pause with a cause. I have to use the bathroom. I will be right back. So please talk amongst yourselves. Please enjoy the vintage license plate collection or the map. Be right back. I have returned. When my kids were little, I stopped at the store during a trip. I told them to get something to drink. Cashier was amazed at their choices. V8, apple juice, and grape juice. Proud mom moment. Yes. I like grape juice. I really like V8. The piss jug is down the hall. It's also cleverly disguised as a toilet. Yeah, I like apple juice also, but I prefer apple juice more like apple cider, where it's cloudy and stuff. Thank you. I Piss jug alley. I can smell the weight of the number 7 on a cloudy day at 9. Bruce is here again. Asparagus. Asparagus, definitely. But it's so tasty. So tasty. Ah, asparagus, when done right, is wonderful. And the stuff that actually what in asparagus that makes your pee stink, that's called asparagic acid. Yes, it's a word. I like uh I like asparagus and I like Brussels sprouts. Maybe someday I'll do asparagus and Brussels sprouts together. Yeah. I've heard of well, thank you. Yeah, I've ate it raw. It's good. Ooh, I like squash. Cabbage is good too. My favorite squash is butternut squash. Yeah, cabbage is good if done. Well, I was talking about when you cook it, Buff, but yeah, I've ate it raw. Hell, I used to go out to my yeah, red cabbage for sure. Fun story. One time I got a bunch of kielbasa and red cabbage and potatoes, and I threw them in the slow cooker and cooked it all up. And then I realized that I made way too much food for just me and Lady Dougster. So I said to Lady Dougster, I said, "Hey, why don't we just oh, thank you. Um I don't care for the texture of spaghetti swash, Buff. Ooh, stuffed cabbage is good stuff." And so I said to Lady Dougster, because at the time where I lived, like my parents were like a eighth of a mile to the north of us, and then her mom, my mother-in-law, was a quarter of a mile south of us. So I said, "Hey, why don't we just take this and swing over to your mom's and we'll just feed everyone?" Because back then my brother-in-law was still living with my mother-in-law and her boyfriend and everything. So we just stopped in with dinner, which everyone was thankful. They're like, "Well, it's time to eat." And everyone went and got plates, and they opened up that thing. Well, the red cabbage had bled. It had turned the water purple, and of course it tinged the potatoes and everything, and nobody would eat any of it until I fixed myself a plate and proved that it was edible, because no one was sure of the red cabbage. You've never had rhubarb? Rhubarb is really good. um Ooh, that sounds good. Pig in a blanket and stuffed cabbage. Oh, that's good. Yeah, acorn squash or buttercup squash. Buttercup squash is good too. Yeah, red cabbage for sure. But red cabbage will make you gassier than gassy. That's one of the nice things is in the fall when it's harvest time and you get a whole bunch of nice stew in the crock pot. Nice. If I eat off that for a few days. Stuart, Cher Campo. Blow over a picket fence. It's better than pooping through a screen door and nary touch a wire. Chicken? Chicken doesn't do that to me. Oh, no, eggs will. Yeah. Not as much as it used to. We got one of those egg boiler things where you do like 7 eggs at a time. And I'll make egg salad for the week for me and Lady Dougster. And I thought for sure that I was going to be able to like fart the national anthem. And it actually, I was surprised. It actually isn't that bad. So it doesn't bother me. Oh yeah, usually you can stand your own brand. You know when it's really bad when you let one, you're alone, you let one fly and you're going, what did I eat? A tire? I fart with confidence. That's huge. Egg salad. Smells like a tire fire sometimes. Yeah, boy, that black oak burns good though, don't it, boys and girls? Yeah, egg salad is pretty damn good. I make how Lady Dougster makes it and how I make it. Lady Dougster calls my egg salad deviled egg salad because I like a lot of paprika in mine. What I don't understand is how Lady Dougster she gets everything minced right down to real fine, and mine's real chunky. So you can definitely tell who did what. Yeah, I always make sure to put a whole bunch of paprika in it. A friend of mine, they make a deviled egg potato salad, and that stuff is pretty dang good too. We do eat a lot of eggs here. I mean, Lady Dougster buys what I want to say, they're like, yeah, it's like 2 or 3 dozen to a box, and they'll last. We'll burn through them. Let me remove my typo. Pow! I gotta say, I do love the sense of community here. It's great. All right, I'm gonna mute the mic so we don't make, even though Mex isn't here, I don't want anyone else to be like, gotta go pee. And we're back. Gives it the old you guys are funny. Oh, not allowed to order Burger King onion rings? Double cheeseburger, onion rings, and a large orange drink. I wonder why Dan's not allowed to order Burger King onion rings. We're doing Veni hamburger this weekend and froze it, mixed with regular burger. That should be about 150 pounds when we're done. Well, good with the regular burger, so you have a little fat to go with it. Time in sixth grade, it was like 6 a.m, and I was still mostly asleep, but awake enough to fart, so I let her rip, and it woke me up. Across the hall. Yeah, venison is really good. Definitely. Especially the backstrap. It's all good, though. The only drawback is the lack of fat in the meat, so you need something to kind of add the fat contact back. That's why Don and Wendy were adding in the hamburger. Had my O-ring out. There used to be a restaurant up here in my area that sold onion rings by the yard, and you'd get a yardstick, kind of tripod looking thing, and then yeah, you could order like half a yard or a full yard, and they were big, crispy onion rings, and man, those things were so good. Destroyer, what's happening, Eric? Good to see ya. When I was in sixth grade, it was 1966. When I was in sixth grade, it was 1988. Stand in the hall. Wow. I don't have a rifle, but I catch a deer every year. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, car deer collisions in Michigan are something else. Yes. Yes, onion rings can be really good or really bad. Yes. See, up here in Michigan, we have this great stuff, and it's made in Marshall, Michigan, and it's called Drake's Crispy Fry Mix. And it's in like an orange, like a funny orangey red box, and it has a white goose on the cover. And that stuff is awesome. 77, 78 was my sixth grade. Mrs. Oswald, referred to her as Mrs. Oddball. She drove a yellow Celica ST with the black half vinyl top. Mr. Hermanette drove a dark silver Pontiac Grand Prix, probably a 77 or a 78. That was a nice car. Mr. Knobloch, he had a Dodge van that was brandy new. Mr. Miller, he had a green Dodge Dakota. That was really nice. One of my teachers, Mr. Glass, he had a rusted out Dodge Dakota, and he didn't give a damn. It was rusty but trusty. He drove it everywhere. Fourth grade, Mrs. Hall drove a brown 74-75 Cutlass. Oh, can't think of her name, but she had an Oldsmobile, and it was the Oldsmobile that had the funny trunk lid on it that was the same angle as the back window, and it was like a bronze color. It was bronze and black. Oldsmobile. Yeah, like what was that? A Buick Century? Yeah, I think the Buick Century was the same. Had that same weird back window, and the trunk lid were at a weird angle. Not an Omega. That was a Cutlass. Okay, maybe it was a Cutlass. Omega front wheel drive box. Yeah, maybe it was a Cutlass. That was a cool. It was an okay car. I like the color on that car. Some of the cars in my high school parking lot that the students drove. One kid, he drove a silver Buick Century, just like what Kojak had, except Kojak's was chocolate brown. One kid had a butter dish yellow. Or actually, it was more of a tan, but it was a New Yorker, like a 80 or an 81 New Yorker, 82 New Yorker, and that thing was a tuna boat. Omegas were always like a Nova and later a Citation. Yeah, this was a rear wheel drive car, but it wasn't like a Nova because it had that weird back window in it. Wow, a Sunbeam Alpine? Cool car. It was a strange citation because you should get arrested for owning one. 65, 66 Mustang 2+2 fastback in black, 289 hypo mod style wheels. We are the parables and the wise of the wise in the mouth of fools. What else was some of the cool cars in high school? A lot of Chevettes. Your average pickup truck. Most of the kids drove cars. Yeah, a lot of cars got smashed. A lot of cars got smashed. One kid had an IROC. We have car memory since we didn't have phones. That's right. That's right. This one kid, he had a pile of crap Chevy van, and everyone made fun of him, but at the same note, though, you couldn't really, because he did everything he could, and he kept it legal. He kept it, played it insured, the whole shebang. He did it all himself, and he worked on his junk and kept that old van to running. It wasn't nice, but it was his, and it was it. I remember him. I walked up to him one day, and I'm talking to him, and he's just sitting there, and he's got a can of roll your own tobacco, and he's sitting there rolling his cigs for the ride home. And he must have rolled 3 or 4 cigarettes in the little conversation him and I had, and he made that crap look easy. My first car was a 1972 Toyota Corona. Wow. My first ride was an 84 GMC S15. It was fire engine red. It was an extended cab short box. It was 4-wheel drive. And it was a gypsy package. It had the good cloth seats in it. And it had the door cards and nice cloth door cards. It was actually a pretty well optioned truck, but it had a 2.8, carbureted 2.8 in it, and the thing was a dog. But hey, it was $1,000 truck. What do you expect in 1995? My 8th grade math teacher drove a 74 Spirit of America Impala SS with a 454 auto posi. He was in his 70s and would do badass burnouts for after school in the parking lot. That's awesome. We had a 62 four-door blue 383 Belvedere at my school. We could incinerate 2 in one afternoon. I bet you could. I didn't get my first car till after I got out of high school. 73 Duster. My first running vehicle was a 93 Ford Ranger. You showed me pictures of that Ranger. I had a 71 Duster rotted out pickle green 318 2-barrel 1-tire fire. Yeah, baby. The multi-port 2.8 screen by comparison. Yes, it did. The pickle was the best. Never got a car till I was 1977 Vista Cruiser. It's a Vista Cruiser. It's made to cruise the vistas. Red Foreman. Yeah, I never understood the multi-port fuel injected 2.8s. Those things were animals compared to the carbureted 2.8s. My friend had a Camaro that had a Crossfire 2.8 in it, and it had a 5-speed. It was navy blue, and that thing was actually pretty fun to drive. So I was driving in my friend's 2.8 Crappoliers, and riding my friend's Camaro, her Camaro with the 5-speed, and I thought, I got a 2.8 in that GMC pickup, that should do pretty good. No, that thing was slow. That's okay. Not that I needed anything fast at that time. Vista Cruiser got its name from the Cena Cruiser Greyhound bus. Cool bus. The Vista Cruiser emulated the raised roof and the high windows. Yes. A friend of my dad's had taken one of those buses and he turned it into an RV. And that thing was so damn cool. My first car was a 75 Ford Granada two-door. Paid $200 for it when I was 16. Yeah, back when $200 was a considerable amount of money too, though. Yeah, I wouldn't be bragging to everyone about the 75 Granada. At least that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right, Danster. All right. My dad had a 76 Torino when I was, two-stroke Detroits and the Scenic Cruisers, yes. I think they were the V8s. I think they were 871s. My dad had a dark green 76 Torino when I was a little kid. Black interior, black top. My Uncle Jimmy was working at the Ford garage at the time, and it came in as a trade-in, and he bird dogged my dad on it. It was actually a really nice car, at least that's what Dad said when he first bought it. And I remember it being so bad that my dad had to take pieces of plywood and stand them up in the trunk of the car. Otherwise, you'd turn a corner and anything in the trunk would roll out of the car. And then Dad and Uncle Jimmy ended up taking the Torino, and Dad and Uncle Jimmy bought a 1980 Mercury station wagon, full-size station wagon, and then the driveline out of the Torino went into the wagon. Then we had a burgundy wagon. That was a nice car, actually. It had full power everything, had the power window lockout. It was loaded. That was a nice Merc. And that was the last Ford I remember us owning. Well, Merc. 65 Chevy Impala SS 396 4-speed for $75. Holy crap. Sold it for $100. Wow. Used much oil as it did gas. Hell, I've had cars that used more oil than it did gas, where you had to fill the oil and check the gas. Doors as long as the whole car. There was a rusty as hell 65 Impala SS where I grew up. Light blue 283 with a glide. Even had little chrome rings around the tail light lenses were rusted. Still had all 4 SS wheels covers on it though. Wow. 65 Impala is a nice car. A guy I know restores cars, and he bought a 64. He bought a 64 Impala from California, and he brought it home, and it's a 409 car, but the 409 was blown up in it. And with him, when he restores cars, they come in, they get done, they get extensively done, and then they're usually gorgeous when they're done, and then usually they're for sale, and then they get shipped off, or the people come to pick them up or whatever. Things usually don't stick around. So he gets the 64 Impala, and it's a beautiful car, and it's fire engine red. He repaints it fire engine red, and then it had a popped 409 in it, and he found a 409 for it and put another 409 back in it. And well, you go there and there's the Impala. Usually by now it's gone and something else takes its place. Other cars have been coming in and they leave, but the Impala's still there. And finally I turn to him and I go, "Why is the Impala still here?" And he laughs and he goes, "My wife likes it, so it stays." And I'm like, wow, of all the cool things he's had, that car she likes. Well, good for her. She's got good taste. He had a 1970 Toyota Land Cruiser. That was cool. That got painted like a deep, dark slate gray metallic. And it had white, the grill was white, it had white wagon wheels on it. And he put the little tubular caddy thing on the roof, and he had gas cans and the death jack and tools and a shovel, and that thing was cool. That thing was way cool. And you never see those Toyota Land Cruisers. My first car was a 64 Chevy two-door sedan. Oh, like Grumpy's toy. I bought 3 months after I got my driver's license, had a 250 inline six with a T10 4-speed, put over 300,000 miles on it in 4 years. I paid $300 for it. Holy crap, Mohawk. Did you ever turn the car off? Yeah, those anything inline six, those things just ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. And everything was good at that time, like the 250 inline six of Ford, or the 300 inline six of Ford, the 250s or the 292 GMs, and the legendary Chrysler Slant Six. I mean, all those 6 in a rows were just made to go, go, go. I mean, you look at 230, 225. Okay. Yeah, those inline sixes. Well, I mean, look at a lot of big rig engines. Those are 6 in a row. Yeah, I always wanted to play with the Pontiac overhead cam 6. Always wanted to play with the Pontiac overhead cam 6 or the Trophy 4-cylinder, the Pontiac Trophy 4, which is the passenger side half of a 389 Pontiac. Takes the same head, pistons, everything. Pontiac used both. Okay. The only thing I don't like about the Pontiac overhead cam 6 is the fact that they use that rubber timing belt on it. I never cared for the 170, 198, and the 225. Yeah, that's right. The 170 was the original. Then they had the 225. And if I'm recalling my Uncle Tony properly, the 198 is kind of a bastard engine. That was something that the bean counters derived. And I guess that was kind of like an afterthought. But the 170 was the original. And then the 225 was the Trophy 4 was the first engine I rebuilt myself. Cool, Buff. I've never even seen a Trophy 4. I've only heard of them. I just wonder, with all of the Pontiac parts that are available for it, if you really set forth to build a badass Trophy 4, I bet you could get the passenger side head and just shovel the coal to it. I bet you could build a pretty bad to the bone 4-cylinder. I heard those Trophy 4s, if they weren't tuned properly, would backfire like no tomorrow. Overhead cam Trophy 4. No, the Trophy 4 was never overhead cam. It was literally, the Trophy 4 was the passenger side of a Pontiac 389. Did it in high school auto shop. Yeah, our auto shop was sad. I remember the guys telling me, they were older than me, talking about rebuilding an engine, but all they did was tear it apart and put it back together. And they were so poor, they didn't even they reused head gaskets, and they just used silicone to squish it all together. Had a 194 inline with a 3 on the tree, but it changed all that. The 250 was not stock, but it got almost 20 miles to the gallon. So my friends always wanted me to drive because I didn't have to charge them much. Makes sense to me. Yeah, Richard Holdner did have a trophy for a little while. I'd love to inject a 250 overhead cam and put it in a Solstice. You can take an LS engine and bolt it into a Solstice. Yeah. Solstice is a cool car. The Saturn Vue is a cool car too. And they're both on the same platform, but the Solstice is curvy and sexy and swoopy, where the Saturn Vue, not the Vue, Saturn Sun. Oh, what was the Saturn little Solstice looking car? It was boxy compared to the Vue. I can't think of that model off the top of my head. It wasn't a Sun. Yeah, the overhead cam 6 would be more pure in a sports car sense and be cooler. Yeah, it would be like a nod of the hat like to a Triumph GT6. Triumph GT6s are cool cars. The Triumph GT6 makes me think of that a British guy hooked up with a Japanese girl because the Triumph GT6 looks a lot like the first time I seen a Triumph GT6, I thought it was a Datsun. I really did. I have a new inbox header for an Iron Duke Nova. Oh, cool. Sunfire? No, it wasn't the Sunfire. Sunfire was a front wheel drive car. Bye, Colleen. Saturn Sky. Thank you. It was the Sky. Yeah, yes, the Sky. I got to let you guys go. I got to start making bags. Got Veni burgers so I don't burn up my vac sealer this weekend. Got a head start later. All. Bye, Wendy. Good seeing you. Well, I've got tomorrow off, so I plan on hanging out for a little while longer. I ain't got nowhere to go. Iron Dukes are actually pretty impressive engines. Um, the guy that I used to work with, his older brother had a Monza with a Duke in it and a 4-speed, and it had 60 or 70,000 miles on it, and he gave it to his brother as his first car, and then he went and bought a brand new car. And so he's driving this thing to high school, and Aaron's friend got all excited when he found out it was the Iron Duke, and he brought him a performance magazine, and he had a bunch of money saved up because he was going to buy his own car. Well, then his brother surprised him with the Monza. So Aaron spent all his money on hop-up parts for the Duke because there was speed parts for because they used that engine series in racing. And he went full on Bobby Bolton. The only thing he didn't do was actually get into the block, but he bolted on all of the good stuff, and he could take on some stock small block Chevys and win. I just love it. They're like, I didn't know that thing had a V8 in it, and he's like, it's a 4-cylinder. He goes, bull crap, and they lift the hood. Look, it's an Iron Duke. 153 4 in line on the Novas in 1970. Bye, Tracy. Have a good evening. That's the way my 5.0 Fox is. Everything except a cam. Oh, all Bobby Bolton. Cool. Tell you what, the 5-liter Mustangs they were awesome back in the day. There was nothing that could touch them. They were fast. Should have seen how surprised I was the first time I heard about guys pushing their 5.0s so hard that they were splitting the blocks in half. I was like, whoa. The one lady I went to school with, she had a 80 Capri. And I think that had a 250 inline in it. And it was white, and she painted it like a Holstein cow, and she called it the Cow Pre. Ooh. We're down to 50% battery power. They'll still last me a while. So that'll be the only limitation. 3.3 liter Capri, yes. I think the Kiwi Capris were a little bit better than the American Capris. I did like the looks of that Capri though, because versus that year Foxbot or that year Mustang, I liked how the Capri had like the rounded fenders. It looked like you could stuff way more tire in the quarters of that Capri versus the same year Mustang. That's not bad. 302 horsey out of a 302. That's better than nothing. Had a 3.3 liter Capri for a while. Never drove it much. Ooh, T-tops. I like the first gen Capri. I like the looks of the Torino, like Starsky and Hutch Torino, or like the one my dad had. That's a good looking car. Or a Grand Torino. Um, hmm. The Ford GTAs, they were pretty good. Was that like 65, 66? Yeah. I like the looks of the GTA. So they have the stack headlights, those Fairlanes, or like Fairlanes and stuff. They have the stack headlights, which makes you think of a Fury. First gen Capri looked like nothing like anything else in America at the time. Okay. There was outside of the country, there was Ford Escorts that looked nothing like any of the Escorts we ever seen here in the States. Like there was Ford Escorts that were rear wheel drive. My dad's first car was a 64. I think it was a 64 Galaxy. 390, 4-speed with a bench seat in aquamarine. And he talks about it all the time. My dad also had a 69 Mustang. And I remember being a kid and saying, if you could have any of your cars back, what would it be? And I assumed it was the Mustang. And Dad said, no, the Mustang was a fun car. It was a cool car. I liked my Mustang, but I liked my Galaxy more. That was a better car. As a matter of fact, my dad had graduated high school and he was looking at a new car. And my grandfather told my dad, well, go look at cars and don't do the financing through the bank. He's like, I'll do the financing for you and I can get you a way better rate than the bank will. So that's what my dad did. He went to the Ford garage and he ordered a brand new Mustang. Well, at the same time, my uncle needed a car too, and my grandpa had bought my uncle a car. So the car come and grandpa gave him the money and everything. And so the next month rolls around and my dad goes up and he makes his first payment to my grandpa, and grandpa's sitting at the table reading the paper, and he goes, here you go, Dad. And he handed my grandpa the money, and my grandpa folds down the paper, looks at the money, picks up the money, and hands it back to my uncle, or my dad, sorry. And he goes, you can have that back. And he goes, no. He's like, the agreement was my payment was going to be this and everything, and this is my first payment. And he said, well, I had to buy your brother a car, so if I'm going to buy your brother a car, then I'm buying you one too. So there you go, son. And he picked up his paper and went back to reading. So my dad bought a car. It was a 69 Mustang, 4-speed car, 351 Windsor. And he didn't know it at the time, but when he ordered it, he had his choice between the Cleveland or the Windsor. And he goes, well, what's the difference? Salesman didn't know either. He goes, I don't know. They're both 351 cubic inches. So they got the Windsor. Dad says, now in hindsight, I wish I had the Cleveland. But it was cherry red, and it had a blacked out hood. Only pictures I've seen of it are black and white, though. '68 Mustang convertible for my mom. Nice. My mom talks about it all the time. They had her and my mom's first husband, which was one of my dad's friends. My mom and her first husband had a gold Oldsmobile Cutlass when they were married, and she misses that car. The Windsor 4V was such a lovely engine. Oh, it sure is. But if you had your choice though, Dino, would you rather have if you had your choice between a Windsor or a Cleveland, what would you have? Love to have a Pantera. Yeah, Panteras are pretty neat. Elvis shot a Pantera. It wouldn't start one day and he got out of it. And yeah, I already know. Right now, Dan's sitting at his desk going, Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland. .351M. Just say no to a 351M. I'm not a Ford guy, and even I know that the 351M is not. Actually, I hadn't even thought of that. Well, there you go, Dan. Now you can say Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Yeah, 400 is the one you want. Okay. Have you seen that Torino that Pole Barn Garage has, the blue one? I think that's a 400 car. And I think he swapped a. Oh, the M is a D-stroked 400. Okay. Yeah, I don't speak very much Ford. Oh, he put a 429 in it. Yeah. 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 429 is a beastly engine. Ford did funny stuff making you pay for a better engine with less grunt than the year previously. Yeah. I just take a 428 Cobra. I think I'd rather have the Pantera because the Cobra, that's a lot of engine and not a lot of car with some 1950 suspension. And the one guy up here, he built a Cobra replica made by the or from the company called Sue Performance, one word. And he had everything delivered to his doorstep via like DHL, UPS, Postal Service, UPS. And he was, what about the Di Damaso Mangusta? The Mangusta, I think, is a pretty cool car. I think I'd still rather have a Pantera over a Mangusta. You're right. It didn't get a 428. It got a 427. Right, 289 or 427. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, he ended up when he built the car, he was going to build a 427 for it, and then he seen an article or seen a ad in the back of a car magazine that you could order engines through Roush Engines in Wixom, Michigan. So he's like, I'm going to do that. And he spent like, I want to say $17,000 on an engine from Roush. And so he orders the engine, and they're like, "Oh, okay, he paid for it." And they said, "We have shipping," and he's like, "Excellent." And they's like, "It's $750." And he goes, "I only live 2.5 hours away." Well, it's flat rate shipping, so no matter where it's going, it's $750. And he goes, "Well, can I come get it?" She's like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." So yeah, he drove out east and picked it up, and he got a tour of the Roush facility, and he got a Roush coat, he got a Roush hat, he got a Roush pin. He didn't get to meet the cat in the hat because he was gone for a race, but he got a nice tour. He got to meet a bunch of people. He says it was really nice. And then so he comes home with his engine, and then a few weeks later he gets a really nice card sent to him, and it was from Jack Roush to so and so. Sorry I missed you. Thank you for your purchase. Sincerely yours, Jack Roush. And he had that on his refrigerator for a while. And he bought the 427 he bought was like 700 horsepower. And so he throws his car all together, and finally he's driving it. And we're like, "So, what do you think?" And he said, "I don't know if I like it." And you're like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, from 0 to 50, the car doesn't hook up. So I'm burning tire from 0 to 50. Then he says, from uh from 50 to 130, it goes like that, and then he's like, it's right on top of its suspension and the car's dancing. Yeah, Jack Rouse has led a pretty charmed life. Last I knew, he wanted to take power out of that engine for that AC car, AC Cobra. It was a cool car. Black. It was all black. And his sister did a red leather interior for it. She sewed all the red leather for it. It was nice. Like the 1960 Y Code Super Thunderbird 4-barrel. I never heard of Super Thunderbirds. 352 FE, 360 horse, 30 horse more than the 71 Boss 351 with 330 horse, 150 miles an hour, and a Starliner. In a Starliner, 25 miles faster than a 351 in a 4140 pound car. My dad really liked the Starliners. They're over by the bank that we used to go to, where we did all our banking. As you go round the block to go to the bank, there was a green 61 Starliner there, and Dad always would drive slow past it. And yeah, I wish I could have bought Dad that car. And they had vanity plates on it that said 61 Star. That's how I knew what year it was. Yeah, I wish I could have bought that Starliner for Dad, because he always drooled over that Starliner. I rode home from birth behind a 352, but I doubt it was a police interceptor or whatever. Probably a 2-barrel. I'm pretty confident that I don't know if I went home in the Dart, because my parents had, I don't know if I was around. I've seen pictures of my parents' Dart. My parents had a red Dodge Dart with a black convertible top that was an absolute rust bucket. I had a dark blue 61 Starliner for about a year. So I don't know if I rode home in the Dart or if I rode home in my dad's Econoline van. It was probably my dad's Econoline van. And that was like a tan. It was a 3/4 ton. I think it was a 302. Gray 63 Valiant. Yeah. Yeah, you want to. You're back. What did you miss? Everything. That's the standard answer. What'd you miss? Everything. Slant 6.3 on the tree, probably a 170 because my dad said it was dangerous slow. Hey, Cody, what's happening? If you have to ask, then you can't handle the truth. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Another one that's good to say fast is toy boat. Say toy boat 10 times as fast as you can. What's your favorite car? That's hard to say, Cody, because my tastes are always changing. But some of the ones that I really like are like, 76 65 Pontiac Grand Prix. Those are beautiful cars. Oh, hell. The first ride car was a 53 Ford with a flat head. It was less than a year old. Are you inspired by Islam? Do you know about Islam? Not really. A cycle pedal car I had in 73. What do you think about Toyota cars? Great cars. The Japanese do not make junk. They do not make junk. Toyotas are good. As a matter of fact, we have a Toyota Camry in our fleet, an 07 Camry, and that's a wonderful car. What do you think about fastback? Well, I like fastbacks. The 65 Grand Prix is a fastback. Some Japanese cars have been junk, not many. Even the Datsuns, even though are you talking, Dan, are you talking about body-wise and rust, or are you talking about drive lines? Because if we're talking drive lines, Japanese don't make junk. But rusting out bodies, especially here in the old Rust Belt, yeah. Thanks, Cody. Yeah, our Camry's great. I love that Camry. That's a great car. Drives great. It gets good mileage. Datsun equals rust. Oh God, yes. You know, that was the only thing that killed here in the Rust Belt. That's the only thing that killed the Datsun was the rust. I mean, a Datsun, and peace on to you also. The Datsun, uh, a Datsun started first time every time. Those things were running machines. They just the iron moths just ate them to death. '62 Austin Healey Sprite, cool. Was it a Bug Eye? Bug Eye Sprite? Imagine my 6'2" butt in one of those. Right. Worked on a farm for a while, and one of the guys who did summer help, he played football for one of the local colleges, and he drove what time is it? It is 11:28 in the evening. He drove a Triumph Spitfire, and he was like 6'6" and an enormous man. It was so funny watching him weasel in and out of that Triumph Spitfire. I seriously wonder if he could have drove that car with the convertible top up, because I never seen that car with the top up. Ford Mustang GT Blue, 10:28 Central Time. Who is the GOAT of football, Messi or Ronaldo? Oh, you mean football like soccer? To be perfectly honest with you, I don't follow soccer close enough to know. So I don't know. There are some Toyota cars you don't have in America, and they're literally crazy. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Yeah, I like to see them. Oh, different engines too. Do you know about WWE, like wrestling? A little bit. A little bit. I'm excited for baseball season. Yeah, me too, War. Um, yeah, me too. Especially now that we're playing preseason. And my beloved Tigers got Justin Verlander back as our pitcher for the year. Yeah, that makes me excited. Let's just hope that Verlander's still as good as the old boy used to be. Yeah, I like pickup trucks. I daily drive a pickup truck. Oh, nice. I'm all about my Tigers. Always have been. My Grandpa Dougster on dad's side of the family was a big baseball fan. My grandma, who's still with us on mom's side of the family, she's 97. She's a big Tigers fan too. So yeah, Tigers run strong on both sides of my family. So terrific, Tom Brady. Tom Brady played football for the University of Michigan. Wolverines. Hence the Wolverine and Wolverine Garage. But yeah, Tom Brady was a no, I'm not drug overdose. Nice. Well, how can you not be a Tigers fan? They only are awesome. Okay, we are in the single digits of charge. So we'll go for a little while longer, but the end is almost here. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have an outlet over here? No, I don't. So much for plugging in the phone too. Are you a cricket fan? No. Well, I mean, I think it's a fascinating game, but I've never seen. I wanted to be like Richard Petty when I was a kid too. It's an interesting game, but I've never seen cricket played. That's something that isn't played here in the States. That's something that's like over in Europe kind of thing. Am I an Aussie? No, I'm an American. Dean is a Kiwi. He's a New Zealander. Yeah, Sunbeam. Yeah, I'm from Michigan. Is it no time already? It's almost no time. We got 8%. So it's getting close, but not yet. Yeah, I'm from Michigan, USA. Sunbeam Tigers. Yeah. Plymouth Caravel. My my mother-in-law had a Plymouth Caravel in gold, 4-door. Can you come to Pakistan? We'll provide you with the best hospitality. I'd like to check out Pakistan someday. Maybe I'll take you up on that someday. That'd be neat. I know nothing about Pakistan hospitality. Yeah, I know nothing of that side of the world. Some of the live streams that all right. Welcome, Dano. Some of Dean's live streams are wonderful when he goes for a drive there and in New Zealand. And it's just neat to see New Zealand. I've never seen New Zealand, so it's just neat. So I'm always interested. And New Zealand looks to be a very beautiful place. The gay question seems to be very popular, I've noticed. Why does everyone want to know if I'm gay? Yeah, I want to see New Zealand too. Okay, Dan, you and me, we're going on vacation. We're going to go see Dino. Do you like a 2015 Mustang GT? I mean, sure, they're good looking cars. If someone were to give me one, sure, I'd own it. I'm more of a Chrysler guy myself, but I mean, sports cars are sports cars. They're all fun to drive. I'd be happier with a 2015 Challenger. Or a Charger, for that matter. Your wife would be very disappointed. Why? Because a couple of Yanks come to visit? Well, we'll stay at a hotel. It's not like we're going to stay at your house, Dean. Imagining a Charger weighing 4,800 pounds. Real Chargers have 2 doors in my book. Yeah. I can get behind that. Yeah, I can get behind that. Oh, it's okay to stay. Unfinished project to be welcome too. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be an epic trip. Me and 2 of my friends go around the globe to see another one of our friends. How cool would that be? Like the American TV show Roadkill, they got invited to Australia by a guy named Gup, G-U-P, and they just showed them all around and just treated them like royalty. And I could only imagine all sorts of fun gearhead stuff, and I could just imagine it would probably be about the same for us. So I could just imagine how great that trip would be. Well, I think I would just get myself a passport and be done with it. Finished project has an accent, though. Yeah, I'm sure the second we said hello, everyone would be like, "Are you a Yank?" Yeah. Is that okay? No invite for me? Oh, okay, come on. Hey, all right. Come on, Ken. You're coming along with us when we go to New Zealand, all right? I'll just give you my Dean A. Boyd license. You like don't leave me in suspense, Cody. What? What? Welcome. Mandatory. Yes. Oh, yeah. Do you like a 65 Mustang Fastback? Yes, I do like the Mustang Fastbacks. They're good looking cars. Especially like a 67. Yeah, Mustangs are good looking little cars. I think they're small. I don't think I would fit in one very big. I tend to be a little bit on the larger side, but yeah, Mustang is a good looking little car. I appreciate the Spot Mustangs and the Camaros holding the car world, but there are just too many of them. Like the S10's getting to be now. That's why I drive a different car. New Zealand hot rods, right? 67 Mustang Fastback. Yes, 67 Mustang Fastback. Yeah, in black with the nice chrome wheels that they put on them factory. Oh yeah, that's a good looking car. And red line tires. I remember Gas Monkey Garage did one like that, and man, it was just a good looker. Just a good looker. '67 and '88 Mustang Fastbacks were called 2+2s, and they didn't say it on the body anywhere. Okay. Now a Catalina 2+2 was the top Pontiac, um, because it had the 4 buckets and it said 2+2 on it, and those came usually with a 421, and those things were beasts. My friend had a 65 Grand Prix 389 4 barrel car that was pretty powerful, and then he bought a 65 2+2 convertible Catalina that the body was sad on, but he got the 421 running, and he ended up putting a clutch in it, and that 421 had a lot more to give than that 389 did, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Do I like Teslas? No, I do not, Cody. I think that EVs have no soul. They're just an appliance. They make some serious power. Yes, they do, but they just, yeah. I like um I like cars with internal combustion engines. So we have crossed the threshold into 5%. So that means that I'm going to shut it down, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any ladies with us. So thank you for coming. I really enjoyed. We've been on for almost 4 hours, kids. So that's good. That's been a long time since we did a long haul and long live stream. So let's be like the Beach Boys. Let's get together and do it again, shall we? Be here next week. Same Dougster time, same Dougster channel. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, everyone.